me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June 1862 on a summer's afternoon. We took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
How's the break then, Steve?
How's the bit?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Black and White Banter Live. And please, can everyone in the chat just let me know that you can hear me okay? That's always the first question I like to ask on these. I have got my microphone in front of me, but I'd just like a bit of clarification from every single person, all 20 of you, that you can hear me okay. So if anyone could just let me know in the comments, that would be absolutely wonderful. Evening all, who have we got going on? Yeah, all right here. So, what is going on in tonight's show, you might be asking? Well, of course, we've got basically a repeat of last week. We have got struggling relegation-threatened Burnley, relegation-threatened Sheffield United last week in what is turning into the business end of the season. When I say business end of the season, I put emphasis on the word business. It's do or die. It is Newcastle United against the likes of Chelsea, against the likes of, there's lots of teams going around for these European places. Europa Conference, Europa League, I do not care. I want my passport out next season, and we've got a lot in this video to get into. I've even got a little preview of what we are going to be getting into today. We're going to be looking at St. James's Park. There's a lot of news about expansions come out on that one this week. That's what we're going to be diving into, and I'm going to be getting some thoughts on my lovely guests. And of course, we are going to be discussing some lovely stats, and I might finish with a bit of a surprise tonight, so it might be a bit of a different one. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get my first guest in the building, and it's someone who has already been on Black and White Banter live stream, as unfortunate for him as that is. Let's get a certain Mr. Andy Hill in the building. Evening, Mr. Hill. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How's you?
I'm not too bad. I'm better now that I've got this sorted. I'll tell you what, these live streams are not easy to manage. So I will say my Wi-Fi connection where I'm at tonight is very low, it's telling me. So if I am a little bit slow, I apologise. Andy, you going down to Burnley tomorrow?
Yes, I am. Are you?
I certainly am. Yes, I will see you tomorrow. I will see you quite bright and early tomorrow. So, before I get my next guest on, Andy, I've lost you for a second. There you go. There you go. You're back. You're back in the room. And before I get my next guest on, I will very quickly. Hold on.
Matty, where have you gone?
I've disappeared. I should still be on the screen. There you go. Oh, you've gone sideways now, Andy. Oh, and I've lost him. I've lost Andy. This isn't a very good start. But I'll tell you what, whilst we wait for Andy to hopefully join back on, I'm going to get my second guest on. Mr. Adam, a good friend of mine. He's going to join tonight, and I think he's ready to go. I believe he's ready to go. Oh, Andy's back. Let me get him in first. Actually, no, I'll stick with Adam. Whilst we're on the theme, I'll get Mr. Hill there. You're back. You're back in the room.
Oh, somebody decided to ring me at like 8 o'clock on a Friday night. What's all that about? Knock me out the room.
Fancy that. Fancy having friends on a Friday night. I wouldn't even know what that feels like. Be lucky if I get a phone call from my mum and my dad on a Friday night. Right. We are going to be joined tonight, Andy, by someone who I know through my lovely platform that is Black and White Banter. It is a friend of mine, Adam, so I'm going to bring him into the room. Adam, how are you, sir?
I'm sorry, mate. You can hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. If you want to go landscape, mate, you can. If you want to tilt your camera so you're the long way, rather than...
I've set it up. I'm all right. I think I'm all right.
Wonderful. That's no problem at all. Right. As I always do with anyone new coming on the show, I'm just going to ask you some very short, quick questions about yourself, just to give people a bit of an introduction into you. What is your happiest memory supporting Newcastle? And that might be a big question, I know. First one that comes to mind.
Watching Shearer arrive on Tyneside.
Good answer. Very, very good answer.
Yeah.
Next question. What is your most? I didn't run these questions through you before, and I should have. What is your most controversial Newcastle opinion? Maybe the one that not everyone agrees with.
Not quite sure on that, mate. You caught me off guard with that one. I'd have to think about that.
I like to catch people off guard. I like to keep people on the toes.
I'm not sure.
Go on then.
I'm not right sure, mate, to be fair.
I'll come back to you on that one, Adam. I'll come back to you on that one. And lastly, are Newcastle United going to win a trophy in the next 5 years? Yes or no?
100%, yes.
Ooh, I like the 100%. I do like that confidence.
Yeah.
Right. So, just to give you gentlemen a rundown, before we get into the Burnley stuff, which of course is the main topic of this video, it's match day eve. We all excited. Well, I say we all excited. Some of us might be a little bit nervous. There has been a little bit of news coming out of St. James's Park this week, which I would like to do first. And again, ladies and gentlemen who are in the chat, I will start sharing your comments on the screen as we go through. And I always like to put a bit of a video on before I lead us in. So, of course, what I am talking about is our beautiful home, that is St. James's Park. Now, for anyone who hasn't been living under a rock, who is watching this video, and who has been living under a rock, should I say, it's being reported that St. James's Park, we are not going to be moving, it's going to be being expanded. So first and foremost, I'll come to you, Andy. What were your thoughts when you heard that? And I will go on record and say this is only being reported from one outlet, an outlet that has been wrong in the past. So I'm not going to say this is set in stone. This is not me saying we are definitely expanding, but it has picked up a lot of heat in the past 4 or 5 days. So what was your first reaction, Andy?
I'm pleased. I sat in the East Stand for 30-odd years, more actually, until I moved to the family enclosure with Emma. And, you know, it's an underdeveloped part of the ground. I think our home is the top of the hill. I just don't want us to move. I just don't want to move. We're right in the middle of the city. I don't think we'll move very far, but I think they'll probably come up with, I know money does talk, but I think they'll come up with stiff opposition for Leazes Park or the Town Moor. Moving further out of town than that's just not for me. SJP's our home. I do think we've got a ceiling on how many people would come to games. I know we're allegedly got a waiting list, etc., but we've got to be realistic. These additional seats aren't for Joe Public. These are for corporates, really. And Joe Public will eventually get priced out of it. So stay where we are. You know, you've been to the Etihad. You know, it's just so sterile. I was talking to a Man City fan today, and he was like, worst thing we ever did was leave Main Road. In a lot of ways, you know, obviously not, but in a lot of ways it was the worst thing they ever did. You know, Arsenal, for the first time ever, there's been an atmosphere this year different to what Highbury was compared to what the Emirates is now. And it's not the same. I want to really keep that identity. I really do. And there'll be loads of people have a go and say, you know, you're short-sighted, etc., but that's all.
Well, I'm going to touch on that quite soon, but obviously there's a lot, based off what you just said there, Andy, you raised some good points, which there's a couple I want to come back to. But firstly, Adam, what was your first reaction when this news circulating this week?
Exactly what Andy's just said. I couldn't see it moving from St. James's Park. It's iconic. It is the home. And to move away from that, but as Andy said about corporate are going to come in, ticket prices, it's going to be terrible soon to get tickets. As I ain't got a season ticket, as you know, so I struggle. But St. James's Park is iconic, it's the heart of the city. It's that castle on the hill. It's the thing what I look at every time I come to that A1. I look at it and I see it, and it just puts a smile on my face. and you're smiling inside of me. I know it sounds corny, that, but that is just how it is. And I've had that since I was a young lad at 5-year-old. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But what they're saying is 60,000, aren't they? Roughly.
Yeah, I believe
That's
60
what.
to 60.
Yeah.
Give
But
or
all we
take.
can do is, just wait and see. Just wait and see.
No.
But I'm just so glad that I don't want them to move. I don't want them to move at all. No way. It'll be a game changer, and it won't be the club it were. It is, in my eyes, and probably in a lot of other fans' eyes.
It's interesting that you two are both of the same opinion as me. Now, I put a video out this morning with my thoughts outside St James's Park. Please, anyone watching, if you do want to check that out, I knew that putting a video out with the word expansion in the title would get a lot of views. That seems to be the trend on YouTube. Everyone's going to these St James's Park videos. Just to clarify, by the way, that wasn't the reason I did it. I did not do any details because everyone who knows me knows how I don't like them. It was just my thoughts on the news that had come out and the reaction in the comments. I think 56 comments the last time I checked. There was a lot of people jumping down my throat as the person who'd obviously posted the video, saying, small-minded, we are never going to expand, we are never going to get to the heights that we want to get to with 10,000. But I also got a lot of comments from fans who I pushed them on the matter as, are you saying this because you can't currently get a ticket? And the narrative that I got, and I'm not talking about every person who wanted us to move stadiums, but the narrative I got, and it's interesting to speak to you, Adam, who doesn't have a season ticket currently, was that most of these people were wanting a new stadium because in their heads they think that would massively open the door to them being able to get a ticket quite simply. Now, I think there's a lot more layers to that because I think if we went to a 75,000 seater, for example, surely the memberships would increase from all over the world, the ballot, and would it not just be the percentages would increase marginally of getting a ticket? But would it be that much? I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure.
Can of worms with that, Matty. With the membership.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Go on, Adam.
Can of worms with that membership, because I've had a membership for years now, and obviously this last season they've opened it up. Anyone can get a ticket. There's no limit, and you don't get anything. You don't get you have to win a ballot for a ticket. You don't get it don't make no difference. All you're doing, you're paying your membership to be able to enter a ballot. And whereas before, it was capped, as you say. So if they do get a big stadium, and you can get a membership all around the world, which is good, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be capped. You've got to have a privilege. I mean, you get a privilege for season tickets, but I think you should have a bit of a privilege for a membership. I mean, I've had it for years, and you don't carry on. It don't form any, it don't make any better for me to get any tickets. Just having a membership for years. I just think, crikey, me, it's just white slate, and everyone's on an equal par now on the membership side. Yeah. So I don't know. See what they say. I don't agree with what they've done because you don't get a membership card, you don't get a presentation, you don't get a pen, and I like my pens. So I'm messing about with one now. I like my pens, and I don't even get one. So yeah.
If there's anyone watching who has any Newcastle-related pens and you're not that bothered about it, maybe he's gathering dust. This is the man that you should be sending. This is a man who has got a very nice Newcastle pen collection. Right, sorry, Andy. I know you talked over each other earlier. So go on. I'll move over to you on this.
I think there's a couple of points. I think it's an interesting scenario today where they've announced that they're going to buy or going to take the Northumberland FA headquarters next door to the training ground. I wonder whether they've had some opposition about trying to move the training ground elsewhere, whether that land purchase isn't as easy as what they initially thought. They're taking a big building there and a big bit of land, so expanding the training ground, it looks to me like they're going to stay where they are and build around that. There's not much they can do. There's been houses there that the sort of HMRC around there as well. So they can't expand too much, but the purchase of the Northumberland FA land is interesting because they already use it for, I think, 18s and 21s games. Certainly the women could play there. Absolutely the women could play there instead of Darcy Park. So whether there's something going on there and whether this is kind of, it's a very dotted line. but whether trying to just stay where they are, where the roots are. You know, we absolutely panned Mike Ashley for the naming rights of the stadium and even beginning to threaten to move away. You know, we absolutely panned him. I think we've got an interesting time in terms of stadium, because at some point we'll be pushed to get the away fans from the top to nearer the pitch. I think that's pretty much coming. I think it's an FA regulation that we've been given time to sort of deal with. I do think they'll expand the safe standing area as well, which will probably give them another bit of capacity. Not a lot, though, a couple of thousand here and there. But we don't want to, it's great that we've got a fan base abroad, etc., etc. And this comment's going to sound really bad, but we don't want the tourists, right? Matty, I said it sounded really bad, and it wasn't meant to sound as harsh as it is. But we played PSG, probably the biggest game in X amount of years at home. And in front of me and Emma, there's this French guy, right, with no colours on, videoing the whole game. Does not celebrate when Newcastle score. He's videoed the whole game. Fast forward to the Tottenham game. There's a Korean guy videoing the whole game, right? Videoing the whole game. No colours on again, videoing the whole game. When does he stop videoing? The sun goes off.
Right, okay. No, well, it's
not Newcastle United. That's not Newcastle United. And that's what we've got to live with where we go. If we go down, look, they've all done it. Man City are the biggest for doing it, and they've got, But
well, this leads very nicely into a comment from Luke that I'm going to put on the screen, which just stays on the topic of this stadium, because obviously the comments are coming in, which I appreciate, everyone, even if I don't get them all. Where were all the people saying we should move stadium 3, 4, and 5 years ago? That is, I like it when people put comments like that in, because that opens up a little bit more juicy Friday night debate.
I tell you what, Matty. Luke has a daughter who's an unbelievable goalkeeper. If she doesn't go out and play for England, I'll be really surprised. If it's the Luke, I think it is. Yeah, he coaches with me an under-15 girls team, and his daughter's a quality goalkeeper. But we lost 1-0 last night, so we're still wounded by it.
Right. Well, I'm sure we'll find out. It'd be so funny if you're talking about a different Luke. That'll be really funny. So I'm gonna wrap that one up with your guys' opinions. All I'm getting from you both there is very much similar to me. I mean, you've said something there, Andy, where you maybe feel like you're treading on eggshells to say it out loud. I'm going to say something similar, where I feel like some of the people who are so quick to say we should move don't have the same. And I'm not saying me, I mean me and thousands of others, because when I go on to away games we use, when I speak to people like yourself, Adam, after games, when I do get a chance to see you, in pubs, you name it, I do not hear anyone saying that we should move stadium. I think there's an acceptance that maybe in 10, 15 years, if we are smashing trophies, that we might have to. We might just have to one day. But as of right now, this early in the project, and I think there's a difference between some fans that have an emotional connection with the team a little bit more. That's the difference for me. And
yeah, spot on, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the difference. I've always thought there's a difference between a supporter and a fan. I think those two words are very, very, very different. And I think that, for me, from what I gather when I'm speaking to people, is a difference. But yes, you were right, Andy. You don't look a bit silly on this video. You are correct. It sounds like she could maybe do a better job than Dubravka. So if we could maybe look to draft.
Why are you so anti Dubravka?
Oh, that's definitely a different topic for a different day. Anyway, moving on from that, we do have a football match to talk about, which is a lovely little trip to Turf Moor. And I say lovely in the most sarcastic way possible, because if there is one away end that should not be passed for being fit and proper in the Premier League, oh my God. The last time I was at Burnley, this is not no word of a lie, it was at Christmas, it was a while ago now. I went down at half time, and there was a bloke telling his 6-7-year-old to take a pee against the wall, because the queue for the toilet was that long, because there was only one. So there was people just taking a piss against the wall, and it was just ridiculous. And I don't know how that place passes. So yes, but I am going to throw some graphics on the screen now. It's time to get it on, and I have got a little bit dramatic with the theme for this one. This is the one I used. do or die. The only reason I'm calling this match do or die is because Burnley know that obviously a defeat for them, and they're a step closer to the Championship. And for us, especially after Chelsea's result last night, there's no room for failure against the team in the bottom bottom three. There isn't, and it's a difficult one for me, this, because I feel like it's Sheffield United part 2. We all go into it a little bit expectant. I don't think Newcastle fans are expecting going into this one as what we were last week, because we're away from home, and Burnley have showed a little bit of fight more recently. But we are the overwhelming favourites here. So I'll get that lovely graphic off the screen. But what I will come to you very first, before we dive into things a bit deeper, I'll start with you, Adam, on this one. What is your initial thoughts going into tomorrow's match?
Tough. Really, really tough. Can't wait to see if Big Joe's on bench. That's what I will say. I'm hoping and praying he is. Because we've missed him. We have missed him so much. Like you won't believe. He has been a warrior. And to see him back tomorrow, it'd give me a little bit more confidence that if he comes on that field, you know that he'd just tear the shit out of everyone. That's what he does.
I think there's got to be something said, Adam, as well. But even if a player comes back in the squad but doesn't get on the pitch, I feel like because everyone probably misses Joelinton around the place, like your Brunos, your bigger players, it just gives everyone a bit more of like, oh, we can really go after these last 4 matches. It just gives a bit of a lift when players start to come back, even if he doesn't get any minutes.
Yeah, just his presence. Yeah, it's just... I mean, even seeing him in team photos, when they've worn in team photos in changing rooms, he's been in them photos. It's just great to see him there. I mean, I think he took his kids into the last one, didn't he? And I thought it was absolutely brilliant to see. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's going to be a hell of a tough match tomorrow. Yeah.
So is your gut saying tough? Newcastle will get over the line, tough, or is you? I won't ask for scores now. I'll do that a little
right.
bit.
Well, this is what I normally think. I think right, we'll have a really tough match here. Then we'll go and thrash somebody like 6-1 or something stupid like that. So tomorrow, I'm saying it's going to be really tough, and then we'll get like an 8-0. It'd be great, but we'll see. Oh. Can you imagine?
That would be very. So basically, what you're telling me is you don't want to say anything confident out loud because you are the jinx if you do so. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
That's fine. I don't mind that because I do not want to be chasing you down if we get beat tomorrow because you've come out and said we're going to absolutely smash.
Yeah.
Right, over to you. What's your good feelings tonight as you're sipping that beer?
Yeah, Everton have just gone 1-0 up actually. So that's
right.
Lewin a rugby tackle in the box. Anyway, I'm pretty much the same as Adam. I think it'll be really tough tomorrow. I agree with you, Matty. I don't think it'll be an easy game. Definitely harder than last week. You know, I predicted last Friday night on the show that on the show. That's a good day on the show.
On the show,
yeah. That it would be a tough game against Sheffield United. It was first half. They made it really, really difficult for us. I think Burnley will make it equally more difficult, but for a longer period of the game. I agree with Adam that Big Joe coming back is a huge plus. I haven't heard Howe's presser, but obviously no Shaw, which is a bit of a blow.
Oh yeah, I'm going to touch on that in a second.
And Pope might not be too far away. So Joelinton and Pope on the bench would be a big plus for it, and I think it would give the group a big lift going into that as well. The bench could be okay tomorrow as well. So we've got to have more quality than them. It's just who wants it more, really. I think tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I've got a lovely line from Lewisy. You know, when someone goes, I can tell this guy likes he's quite a port, Lewis. I've got it on the screen. I'm gonna have to put a voice on for this. Never underestimate a wounded animal fighting for its life. Burnley are the animal. I like that, and I totally get what he's saying there. That again, Sheffield United. I mean, I won't touch on last week's match. That's not why we're here. But last week didn't feel like a 5-1 when we left St James's Park, and I'm sure it was the same for anyone watching at home because the first half was just so bad. It was. I kind of sugarcoat it. It was bad.
I ain't over it yet.
Oh God, it was such a strange 5. I will never again in my life leave. I mean, I remember leaving when we beat Spurs 5-1 when we were already relegated, and I felt happier leaving that stadium that day for some reason, which is weird because we were relegated, than what I did on Saturday. It was a really strange one, but Burnley have got a little bit more fight than what Sheffield United do, because I think Sheffield United had the attitude of, well, we may as well chuck the kitchen sink at this. Newcastle don't really look up for it, whereas Burnley, you can't chuck the kitchen sink, in my opinion, because there's still 4 matches left and they are still in with a shout. It's interesting what the score will be tonight. I know he's not quite Gary Neville, but we've got Andy updating us on the match, so I'll be waiting for his updates to come through.
He's more like Carragher tonight. Did you see them photos?
So yeah, I appreciate what you're saying there, Lewis, and we have to take care. We have to be considerate of that, but very, very similar to last week. And I'm going to share some graphics on the screen. We're going down the same rabbit holes as last week's Sheffield United preview, which is weird that we're doing this all over again, but it's some of the same stats. This is just a couple. Opposition chances created. Burnley are on a list with, can I just say it? And I do want to make a very smart point. Man United being on the list of opposition chances created on the top 3 makes me very, very, very happy. Very, very, very happy. Lowest possession. This is an interesting one. Burnley certainly aren't the lowest, but they're certainly not the highest. They will not be looking tomorrow to get hold of the ball and have the ball for the whole match. That will be offer us a little bit of emphasis. We don't want to be sitting anymore. I mean, we know that. I don't have to share a graphic that we shouldn't be sitting in. Now, this is an interesting one. And I think a key battle tomorrow. Mr. Vitinho, I'm definitely saying that wrong. If there's any Brazilians in the chat, please let me know how to say that. Their right back is one of the third highest dribbled past in the Premier League. And I know some people out there might be going, oh, God, bloody stats, Matthew, give it a rest of stats. But when you look at it, this is not a good stat for a defender at this stage of the season. It's not. He's right. I mean, Trent, again, anyone out there who says Trent's a good defender, I will argue till I am put in a box for my funeral that Trent Alexander-Arnold is not a good defender. He's got a wonderful right foot. The fact that he's top of this list out of any other player in the Premier League is fascinating.
Yeah.
But I think the key battle tomorrow has to be the left-hand side, which is going to throw me into my next question for you guys. Is I don't think it's being talked about enough. I am going to put a video out on it in the next 24 hours that I've put together this week. Who and what do we do about this Gordon Barnes situation on the left-hand side? Now, before I get your opinions on this, I just want to give a little bit more context to anyone watching and wondering what the hell I'm going on about. Anthony Gordon can play across the 3. We know that. He said it to Gary Neville in his overlap interview. He played him up front in the Euros last summer when he got best player. But he's also admitted that the left-hand side is his favourite position. Now, what I'm seeing with Harvey Barnes, when I've ran the numbers, and I won't put them on the screen, Harvey Barnes has never played on the right-hand side in his career. That's not his position. For Leicester, since 2019, when he was properly kicking a ball and starting to tear up a couple of trees, he's not a right-hand-sided player. So that's not a position we can adapt. So if Harvey Barnes is going to stay in our team, Anthony Gordon is going to be the one that's going to have to be moved. And for me, I don't know what you guys think. I really hope that he becomes a really good right-hand-sided player. Anthony Gordon's best position is the left-hand side. And the fact he's saying it, so I'm curious to get your thoughts. Do we see both of them ever playing in the same front 3? Or are we looking at maybe Harvey Barnes being a very expensive substitute option further down the line?
Who's going first?
I won't have to talk over each other. I'm terrible for that as a host.
Andy, you go.
Adam.
No, go to Andy because I'm just going to go and get a drink. I'll be back in.
This is all about the beers. I've got a can. This is all about the beers.
I'll be right back.
Priorities sorted.
Of course I have.
Right, go on then, Andy. You dive in.
It's 1 each in the other game, actually.
Oh, right, okay.
I think
in the studio.
I think if Newcastle want to be top 6, they've got to beat Burnley away. That puts that to bed for me. If you're going to be top 6, you've got to beat them. Yeah. I think I said it last week. I think Howe likes this front 3 to be very movable. It's a movable feast across the 3. And I'd be very careful to think that he's not trying to mould Barnes to play across that front 3. Gordon, Isaac, Barnes, I think can play together because Isaac's comfortable on the left. He's comfortable at centre forward. I think it's the Barnes one, it's the funny one, Matty. I do agree with you. But I think part of his education under Howe will be to develop him to play across that front three. I do, and I see it like that. And I think you can bring Wilson in and Isaac can go out left, and then where does Gordon go? I get that. But then interchangeable, Wilson wouldn't want to go left. I do get that as well. But I do think our strength is them three moving around. If Miggy's in there as well, there's an option. And maybe he's not Miggy's biggest fans, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think it's two banks of four, of whatever it is, and then the three up front can go wherever they want. They've got no shackles on them, and I think it's really. I'm feeling that we can't put people into pigeonholes in that front three. I think it's a real fluid front three, and I think some of the reason that Barnes sits out at the minute, and I don't think he will moving forward, that he's trying to educate them to play in them across that front three, Matty. Well, that's my feeling. That's my feeling. I just think that he'll try to mould Barnes the way that he wants to. He kept Gordon out for ages and ages because Gordon A wasn't fit and couldn't get the needed time to get the idea of how played. Now he went to the Euros and got a lot fitter and has come back unbelievable to me. Absolutely. But Barnes has been in and out through injury, and I think it's probably been more difficult for how to mould Barnes the way he wants him. And I think he wants that front three to be interchangeable, and I think Barnes is a big part of that, a huge part of that. But he needs to. I think I'm feeling that he's trying to teach him something along that front three. Only my feeling. If not, you've got a big problem. Barnes won't play. End of. He won't play.
No, I agree. And Adam, you've had a nice bit of time there to maybe mull it over whilst you were pouring your drink. So obviously on Andy's just to catch you up there. Andy's just sort of alluded to the fact.
I listened to it. I'm listening. Sorry,
yeah. So what's your thoughts on this? Do you see Barnes as? Do you think he's going to be a mainstay in our team, or do you think?
Well, I don't know, because he look at Big Joe. He plays all across that way, and then you look at obviously you got Gordon. He plays his favourite positions on left, but then you've got Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento as wing backs, and they're all running down them channels. So at what point in that middle of the field and them attacking situations, who can they play? And who are they going to bring? What about when Tonali comes back? What's going to happen? It's there. Miggy, they're just spoiled for choice. If they stay fit, spoiled for choice. Desperate times, it's been a struggle to get people, but I just don't know. I don't know. And who are they going to bring in? You don't know who they're going to bring in.
I think they'll definitely bring a centre forward in. I think they'll bring a centre forward in of some description.
Yeah, a number 9. I mean, Isaac floats about to left. He floats about to right. He's all over, isn't he? As I say,
he floats to the left. He floats to the right.
Yeah, so I just think they've got players that play in positions, but also some are stubborn, like Harvey Barnes. But I think Harvey Barnes could play central. I think he could come into the middle, if I'm honest, because he tends to bring the ball in and he gets his shots in and whatnot, doesn't he? But it's that right hand side. Who's there? Because Gordon, to be fair, no, he weren't Anthony Gordon when he went out on right there. Playing that right hand side, he weren't what he's become to be at Newcastle. I think Gordon on left, brilliant, but right hand side, I mean Miggy. Yeah, everyone's raising eyebrows at Miggy in that, but he does his job. Maybe 1 in 10 games properly. But I just think they need a proper right winger. They need another Keith Gillespie. That's what they need.
Yeah, I think we need a proper right winger. We need 100%. I don't think Howell. I think we need a right winger, but I don't think Howe thinks we need a right winger. I think he wants these three to play very fluid. Andov has Miggy in there as well. You put Carl in there. I think there'll be another centre forward comes in. was just thinking about the Man City team and how fluid they are going forward as well. There's Haaland is out and out through the middle, but the ones behind are very, very fluid. Foden pops up right, left, yeah, they're everywhere, and I just think that's the way football's going. You can't, you look at Livramento and Hall, you could swap them sides and nobody would be having this conversation.
No, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
You could push Tino up the wing and play him wide, and nobody would be bothered. And I think
it's all right with Trips when Trippier eats same on that right hand side. Trippier covered.
Sorry, I was just going to say. I'm of the belief, probably going down almost what sounds like a conspiracy theory a little bit. I'm more of the belief that Eddie Howe's actually brought Barnes in with the view of him being to compete on the left-hand side. The only reason I say that is because Anthony Gordon and Barnes are so different. So different. Gordon is the one that wants to take his man on. Gordon is the one who would happily run a full-back down the touchline. Barnes will always be on the shoulder. He's always looking for the through ball. His stats suggest he's not a big ball carrier. When he does decide to carry the ball, he does it in smart areas, and his success rate with that's pretty good. But we know that Barnes is the sort of man, he's looking for the pass. He wants Bruno on the pass. He wants Tonali on the pass one day. And I think if we sign the right winger in the summer, and I think it will be somewhere on Howe's priority list, we could be looking at Barnes and Gordon for options for the left. And then on the right-hand side, depending who he decides to keep, if we brought in, say, a 30, 40 million pound right winger, he's then got an Almiron as his backup. He's got a Jacob Murphy if he's backup, if he wanted to someone to slot into that side. So that's mine. And again, I'm probably going a little bit more. You have both made great points. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't mention at the start, if anyone's got a question that you'd like all three of us to answer in a little bit more depth at the end, please put hashtag BWB with your question. It just gives me a little bit more time to spot questions. So Bush, just put hashtag BWB and throw a question in.
Adam, he stitched rope here. He never.
I know. I even messaged him saying, "What do I expect?" He said, "Oh, nothing. It'll be all right." Bang! Got me a headlock.
That's his Jaeger box.
That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. So, going back to the Burnley game in mind, based off that conversation, I know it's a wider conversation, the whole Barnes Gordon thing, without a doubt. What is your front three looking like? Are you going Gordon on the right tomorrow? I'll start with you, Adam. I'll come back to you.
Yeah. He's got to play, definitely, yeah. I don't know if he'll start Barnes.
Right, okay. Right.
That's my opinion. I don't think he'll start Barnes. I think he'll play Gordon up left. I don't even know if he'll play Wilson from start. Carl, I don't know. I just don't know.
But I just think Wilson is chomping at the bit.
Oh, I know he is because he's obviously with England coming up and everything. They all are. They all want to be wanting. But look at Isaac. Look at Isaac. Isaac's just magic, and give him the ball, he'll do something. And tomorrow they need to win that match. Regardless, they need to win that match. I know we did it to Burnley when they sent them down. I was here. And tomorrow it's going to put them right into thick of things. If we beat them tomorrow, which I think we will. Don't shoot me down, people. It's just my opinion. I am a Newcastle fan, so I'm going to be biased. But yeah, they need to win tomorrow, and they need to play the strongest strategy they can. Not messing about with Harvey Barnes up right hand side or up like that. Get Murphy out, do something. Anybody out there, but just do what they do, but best as they can now. While they've got the players out and what players they've got in. That's my opinion, and we'll see tomorrow. So we're doing all of these tomorrow, and then we can all get everyone in headlock and things like that.
If we don't get the result, I don't think you want to come on one of these tomorrow.
My missus will be sat here instead.
Adam will be in no fit state by about 1 o'clock. Even
no, 100%.
That's a normal practice.
Yeah, Andy, what would be your front three tomorrow?
Isaac Murphy.
Gordon, Isaac Murphy.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I don't think you. I don't think you risk Barnes out wide right. I just don't. I just don't think you will. I think Carl will be chomping at the bit, and I think if Isaac or Gordon don't have a good start, which is unlikely, that both have been so consistent all season, then I think he'll stay on the bench for probably 50 or 60 minutes. He might then change it to 4-4-2, depending on how the game's going, and go Isaac and Cal through the middle. I don't know, but I don't think he'll put. There's no need to put square pegs in round holes there, really.
No.
He just needs to do what he needs to do. I think what you said before, Matt, is interesting about, Barnes will be an understudy to Gordon, and, he brings in a right winger, and Almiron's an understudy to whoever. That's what we've lacked this season. It's not how many, when we, he hasn't had he's never ever had a fully fit or available squad to pick from all season, because Willock was injured at the start and then Tonali got banned. I think what was my point there? I think it's the quality of the depth, not the depth of the squad that's a problem. We've got numbers, we just haven't got the quality. So saying Barnes is going to be an understudy to Gordon, brilliant. That's exactly what we need, though, Matty. That is why, that is how we'll progress. Higher up the league more consistently and go for deeper in the Champions League, Carabao Cup and FA Cup, is that the quality of the squad gets bigger. So if we're sitting here in 12 months' time and Barnes is an understudy to Gordon, mint, absolutely where we need to be, 100%. But I don't think you'll do anything silly tomorrow. It'll probably be copy and paste pretty much. I think Livramento will start. I think Hall will start. I think.
Well, this is going to move me. That's going to move me nicely, Andy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Just with you talking about different positions, I am trying to share comments on the screen. By the way, it's just me and these two lovely chaps are getting in such in-depth chats. It's difficult to catch up on comments whilst we're doing so. Of course, we got some news today of a certain handsome, very, very, very handsome centre-back who we believe is missing. And just for anyone who doesn't know, I'm just going to share a little video.
With hair as smooth as fresh leather and the versatility of a chameleon, this isn't just any Swiss defender, this is Fabian Schär.
Wow. Yes, the man who has appeared more than any other player for Newcastle this season. I've been seeing these awards popping up on Twitter for most improved player of the season, and one of the categories that I see quite commonly thrown about is unsung hero. The fact that barely anyone ever sings Fabian Schär's name in the stands is tragic to start with, but for me, my unsung hero would probably be Fabian Schär. So, gentlemen, I'm not going to talk about how we cope without him, because that's to talk about how you cope without a defender, you have to get down the tactical route, because it's not a case of put him in, he'll score goals. It's different with a centre back. Who comes in place? We'd assume Dan Burn's going to play centre-back. That's an obvious one. We'd assume Hall's going to play left-back. Who are you going with? Emil Kraft? Is that the obvious choice here to come in for Fabian Schär?
Yeah. I think so. Didn't he play centre-half for Sweden? He's a Swedish international at centre-half, isn't he?
Yeah. He is an international. Yeah.
So, he's no slouch. He's very mobile. He gets around the pitch. I think my only worry would be that Burnley are generally quite physical, especially going forward. And is he that good in the air? Can he hold it against a bigger centre forward? I don't know, but look, he gets around the pitch. He's decent on the football. He'll not give up. He'll give everything we've got, and I think it will be Burn and Kraft.
Yeah.
I think I don't think anyone, and I mean anyone, is calling for Mr. Paul Dummett to come in at centre back. I think that's one of our only. After his WWE antics against Everton, I just don't think that's a conversation anyone is having. I would maybe rather see Nick Pope playing there. I've seen that team sheets doing the rounds on Twitter today of Nick Pope at centre back. He definitely offers a bit of height. Right, so yeah, I think that's the other main. We could talk about Callum Wilson. I do expect Callum Wilson to get some minutes in the second half. We've got that lovely option to mix them two up, because again, very similar to what you were just talking about, Andy, with us finally starting to have those options. Gordon and Barnes on the left, in a hypothetical universe being one or the other, are very different. Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak, in my opinion, are two great strikers to have when both fit, because they are so different. They are very, very different. One is you could argue one of the most natural goal scorers in the Premier League in Callum Wilson, in my opinion. I do think if he wasn't injury prone, we would be talking about him as one of the best in the country. I've always said that.
Yeah.
Expecting to get some time in the second half. But before we move on to predictions and whatnot, because I know we're getting a little bit closer to that hour, and I'm not going to keep the start of anyone's bank holiday weekend too long. I do like to move away from the serious stuff a little bit and dive into something a little bit less serious that's happened during the week. And anyone who knows how much I love this, it's not going to be this again, but I am going to put it on the screen just because it's my favourite video of the last 5 years. I will never get sick of this video. I hope I'm doing that tomorrow. What I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, I'm
doing it now on the table.
I put a post out. I'm just going to do one random thing every week on a video, one random situation or scenario that's happened. I put a post out earlier in the week where I made a joke of Arsenal's title race and suggested that them finishing 1 point behind winning the title would be lovely because of a certain match at St James's Park earlier in the season. I put this post on social media. Please let Arsenal miss out on the league by trying. And look how many likes and shares it got. Anything Arsenal related. But this is not the funniest thing that happened, ladies and gentlemen. Arsenal are a very, very salty fan base, I've found out. And I got an inbox message from an Arsenal fan who decided to go as far as messaging me privately about this post. And this is what he said. He sent a screenshot of the Premier League table and reminded me that it's jealousy at its finest. I'll just let you read it. I just wanted to share this week. This is this week's random moment of the week, which I absolutely loved. So anyone watching this who's got a soft spot for Arsenal, you clearly haven't met many of their fans. They are incredibly salty, and I still think we'll be hearing about that VAR decision in about 3 years' time. So that was my random moment of the week. Right, so let's dive straight back out of that and get back into the juicy stuff. Right, I'm going to start with you, Andy. How do you see this match going? What do you think the score is going to be, and who is going to score the first goal in this match?
I think we'll win 2-1.
Lovely jubbly. And who's
can
going
I,
to
can,
tell me?
Can I just leave that there? Can I just not comment any further? I think we're going to win 2-1.
Can I just agree with Andy?
No. When we do match predictions, I'm like I want a tactical breakdown. So it's going to go 2-1. Are we going to go 2-0 up and it's going to go a bit shaky, or are we going to come back from 1-0 down, or is it going to be a draw?
They'll score first and we'll win 2-1.
100%. I was just going to say, I know it's brave to say it, Andy. I know it's brave to say it, pal. We will go 1-0 down. They'll score first. But don't shoot me down if I'm wrong.
So are we following a theme that you think this Saturday's match is going to go the same as last Saturday against an equally struggling side?
Not quite same. Because obviously we're not at home. But I'm sure that our fans always turn up, But it's crunch time now at the bottom of that league, and they're going to come out of them traps quicker than you won't believe. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be aggressive, like you've already stated. They're going to be aggressive, and no doubt. And I hope not. No, I don't even want to say this. I want to get shot to full. We're going to get an injury tomorrow. Sorry for swearing. We're going to get somebody's going to get injured because they will come battling. And it's end of season, and well, we'll just have to wait and see and watch. But yeah, I think we'll go 1-0 down first.
So are you going for 2-1 as well, Adam?
No, I think they'll get into the flow. I think it might be more than 2, it might be 3. Isaac's going to get an hat trick this season, and it might be tomorrow.
What did you put in that pint glass when you went for a drink?
Well, half Henry Weston's vintage and half Old Rosie.
Old Rosie.
Old Rosie. No wonder you've come up with something different in the end. That is
I know it is.
You lad, fella.
I've got a first score. I know, Adam. You've just said you think the home side are going to take the lead, so that's kind of your first score. But what I want from you is both. You've already said that you think Isak's going to get a hat trick. You've ticked that one off. Andy, who do you think is going to score first for Newcastle in this match?
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon down. Right, so I've got 2 wins there. I'm happy with that. You know, if I'm going to put a big fancy title on the screen like do or die, it sounds like we're going to do and we're not going to die, which is what I like. I want the top word. For what it's worth, I'm going to go for, dare I say it, I can't believe I'm going to say it, I'm going to go for Newcastle to get clean sheet in this match, which is not very, very unheard of. I'm going to go for Newcastle to win 3-0. I think we'll get a goal. I think it'll be a really nervy, shaky first half an hour, but we might ride the storm because Burnley do not score many goals. But what I'm really, hopefully, and again, I'm similar to you, Adam, now. I don't really want to say these things out loud. I hate saying these things out loud. Burnley, I respect them for it, but I also think Company's been a bit of an idiot this season. They have tried to play it only one way this season, and I think that could really work into our hands tomorrow. They will try and play the ball on the floor. They will pass it around the back. And let's face it, to everyone, whether it's in the chat, whether it's you guys, Andy and Adam, what I will say to that is if Burnley are going to try and play their game and we're going to try and play our game, we should be beating these comfortably. We should be beating these comfortably. We've got the much better players on the pitch. We've got the much better attackers. We've got one of the most informed strikers in the Premier League up front. We've got one of the most informed wingers in Anthony Gordon. So that's. I'm going to go for 3-0, which I am putting my balls on the line there. You may as well get the chopping board out. Out there. And I will. I'm going to go for Anthony Gordon to score first in this one. But let's dart back. Before I wrap things up tonight, I know I asked people only once. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I never asked this on my videos. If you can hit that like button whilst you're tuning in, all 30 of you, that would be absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to dart back and try and answer some questions, and we'll try and take these on in the room. They might go a little bit further back. What have we got? Matthew. Oh, it's a one for me. It's a one for me. Would you believe? Not for my 2 lovely guests. From Mark. Matthew, do you think Harvey Barnes can do it for 90 minutes the same way as Gordon does? Yes, I do. He's obviously not still fully sharp. We can't rest. Harvey Barnes was out for a very, very long time. What I think about Harvey Barnes is that he can do it. He's proved he can do it for Leicester. His goal record suggests that. He's not a player known for fizzling out after 50 minutes. Just a very different playing style. I think Barnes will still be learning Eddie Howe's intense press because that's not something I think Barnes is used to. I'm a little bit worried about Barnes' work rate from a defensive point of view. I think that, again, is something that he's gliding through his career so far at Leicester where he hasn't had to worry about that too much. But Eddie Howe will not take that. That's not... Look at St. Maximin, and I'm not going to open up the conversation on anyone's opinion on him. Why, in my opinion, why he's treated like a god, I do not know. But one thing St. Maximin did not like to do is track back. And he didn't. And I think that's why him and Eddie Howe never got on. So the answer to your question would be yes, I do think he has 90 minutes in him, just in a very, very different way to Gordon. He's not going to be a Duracell bunny who's just had a couple of lines of something cheeky like Anthony Gordon is when he plays. Has Barnes got 90 minutes in him? Same question. Flicking down. Mark again, could play Isak on left, Wilson in the middle and Gordon on the right. I'm not against that idea. If I saw that Eddie Howe was playing that formation tomorrow, yes, I know that would be allude back to us saying he doesn't need to make changes and that's maybe a bit unnecessary. I would not be against Alexander Isak starting on the left with Callum Wilson. I think them two have proved they link up. I don't know what you guys think on that one.
I agree. I do agree. I think they'd be very fluid. I think Wilson would move to the right and Isaac would drop into the middle. And I think Gordon would go on the left. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Mm-hmm. And you, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, it works because then type of players make it work, don't they? And they're fluent like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't argue with that at all. No.
Excellent. Still looking for the questions coming in.
This do or die, mate.
I wish I had some hair. I wish I had Fabian Schär. I like that one. The mighty win's in the building. The mighty win. I've had a drunken conversation on a bus back to the airport in Milan with the mighty win. Eddie was being upcrafted his press comments, so I think Murphy will have to wait. I would, to be honest, no disrespect to Murphy, I don't know enough about him. I've watched him a little bit of pre-season. I would like to hope that Murphy might have to wait. I do not want, when we're going for European football, I would not want Eddie Howe tinkering with kids at the back. That is just, in a relegation scrap, that would be dangerous. Yeah. That would be incredibly dangerous. The predictions. Let's get some predictions on the screen. We've got 2-1 Newcastle. Isaac Brace from Mr. Jim. We've got 4-2 for Isaac. Ooh, lots of confidence again. This is the same as last week, and we did end up winning quite comfortably in the end. Nervy 3-2. Oh, Luke's a little bit more on the fence. Do you know what? Have I got the video for that? Oh, I don't have the video in my arm for that comment. Do you want to score? The mighty win 2-0. I like it. 1-0 early in 80 minutes hanging on. Wow. I like the in-depth score predictions. The in-depth ones are better. Like how we visualise the whole game going. Got a question regarding St. James's Park. Matthew, say you live in 2 up, 2 down house and your family is growing. Do you stay or do you move to 3? Nah, Mr. Goldfarb. I understand the point that you're making there. I understand the point you're making, but I do not think there's a crossover with this argument of whether Newcastle should move or not. I don't see the similarities in the point you're trying to make. So I understand the analogy that you're using to try and get that point across, but to suggest that us staying in a stadium, which can I just go on record and say, ladies and gentlemen, is still one of the biggest in the country, and every new fan, tourist fan, whatever you want to call it, who visits St. James's Park, you cannot tell me they do not have a better experience than visiting the Etihad. Will they get Wi-Fi? No. Will they have an option of pies and Chinese food and different baguettes? No. But what they will get is a pint in the Strawberry, serenaded by Geordies when they hear their accent outside on the terrace, and a 2-minute walk to the stadium. And that is the difference for me. So, I know I haven't really answered your question there, Godfather, but my question would be that question is not really relevant. So, no. That was a bit of an answer. Been a great show. Thank you very much. But one thing I'm going to finish with, ladies and gentlemen, because I almost forgot, because I'm getting too involved in these lovely conversations with these two gentlemen. How could I let you go to sleep tonight without some black and white banter?
Stats.
Right, let's get my black and white banter stats up and rocking. Let's see what we've got. Hang on, technical issues. Here we go. Right, who wants some black and white banter stats? Just I know you're all waiting for them. I know you're desperate for them. Here we go. I'm going to put some quiz questions into my two guests on these stats as well. Anthony Gordon has 10 goals and 9 assists in the Premier League this season. He's the only Newcastle player to reach double figures for both in a single season since 2 players. One was in the 93-94 season and one was in the 94-95 season. Can any of you gents in the chat guess who them 2 players were? You're looking for double figures in goals and assists. I'll put that one out to the room as well.
92, 93.
93, 94, 94, 95 were the 2 seasons. 1 player from each season.
Peter Beardsley, one of them?
No, it's not. I don't have any sound effects for this.
Rob Lee.
I'll give you one more guess each and I will move swiftly on. I'm getting Peter Beardsley's in the chat. No, we've already had that. That is, I know I'm probably a bit behind in sharing the comments. No, these are all incorrect. I'll give you one more guess each.
92, 93.
I'll give you one clue. I'll give everybody one clue. I'm going to start putting quizzes on my shows. I like quizzes. I love quizzes. He has a chant that is still goes out around the away ends, the home ends, but it's part of 3 different chants that follow each other, normally quite quickly after one another, about players.
Andy Cole?
Oh, yeah, that was Andy Cole. Yeah, 92-93. That was the first Premier League season.
The other person in the 94-95 season was Rule Fox, who I've actually had the pleasure of meeting. Oh, my God. You were just a bit late with your Andy Cole answer because Mr. Andy Hill jumped in just a little bit faster. Right, let's get back on with my stats. I'm definitely going to bring quiz questions in the future. I love it. Burnley have won just 2 of their 13 Premier League matches against Newcastle United. Get in, that's what I like to hear. Losing their last 5 in a row. They have never, this is the one nobody wants to hear, they have never lost 6 in a row against Newcastle in their league history. So we can break some records tomorrow. We can also keep records as records. Following their 5 consecutive Premier League wins over Burnley, Newcastle will be looking to win 6 in a row against an opponent for just the second time. Also registering 6 wins against who between 2006 and 2008?
Ooh.
6 wins between
2000. This is a more difficult one. This could literally be one of many, but if you try and cast your mind, 2006, 2008.
West Ham?
It's not Leicester, is it?
The comments aren't coming in very fast on this one. I think everyone...
It's not Leicester, is it? No, it can't be Leicester. No.
Oh. Give a geographical location, Matthew, to help, man, will you?
It's from a certain part of London, mate.
Fulham.
It is not Fulham. It's not Everton, Mark.
It's not Chelsea.
One more guess, Andy, because we just are going to end up going around the whole of every single London club, and you will eventually get there, which makes it a bit of a pointless quiz. Lewis, unfortunately, unless you missed me, say it's in London. West Brom is in the Midlands.
That's in Birmingham.
Well, we've got a correct answer. Ding, 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 ding. Mark Beatty with tartan hair.
I said that 3 times and you ignored me, by the way. You didn't hear me. I said it 3 times. I said Tottenham, Tottenham, Tottenham. 3
Just
times.
let the guests have something, Andy, honestly. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. One of our guests is a bit of a party pooper. He doesn't want anyone else to get the points. Right. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, that's one thing I can't control. Ladies and gentlemen, please, before you go, whack that like button. Please, before you go, get Black and White Banter across all social media. I am on TikTok, where I try and post something a little bit different, a little bit unusual. Some of you might say if you're on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and there's a WhatsApp group. If anyone wants to join the WhatsApp group, please do. It is booming every day. We are talking about what meals we having for our tea. We are talking about politics. You name it, it's all going on that way. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, get in the WhatsApp group because you are missing out. As always, great show. Bit of a slow start. I lost my train of thought a couple of times, but I am getting better at this, ladies and gentlemen, so stay patient. Andy, thank you very much for having you on again. I will see you tomorrow, where you better be buying the drinks because, well, you know, Shy Ben's getting out.
I was relying on you buying the drinks.
Oh, well, this is going to be a very sober way, isn't it? And Adam, thank you very much for having you on for the first time. I hope to see you soon. I haven't seen you.
No dramas. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you before end of season, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Ladies and
Cheers,
gentlemen,
guys.
Thank you very much for watching. It's been great having you on. Hopefully, this time tomorrow night, Newcastle United are looking a step closer to European football because we are getting to the shitty bum time of the season. Keep the faith, though, as always, and get Black White Banter across all socials. However, Eddie Howe's Turf Moor visiting Mags. I'll see you on the next one.
See you, Matty.